Happy birthday to you, and many more.
Happy anniversary to Anne, yes. Oh, that was a beautiful post on Facebook. Yes.
Thank you.
So let's just open our service with an invocation, which is setting the tone, is what they say it is, so that's how I'll do it. So recognizing that one power, that one presence, from which everything originates. That power that is so immense and immeasurable that it holds all of the manifest universe within itself with plenty of room for expansion. And as expressions of that power ourselves, we have been gifted with the ability to shape and co-create our experience using our thoughts, our feelings, and our words. And so knowing that this is true for each and every person here, including me, I know that between the music and the message, we are all going to leave here having been spiritually fed until we're full. And together we say, and so it is. We have Reverend Debbie here this morning, and Reverend Patricia, and Reverend Deborah. Are there any other ministers or practitioners that I don't know about? No? Okay, well, there's room for you guys too. So, all right, let's see. So what we're going to do now is our opening song, and then so everybody stand for that if you can. And after the opening song, then you get to greet each other with namaste, or a handshake, or a hug, whatever you want to do. Okay, so let's stand for our opening song.
I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. Soulful praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song. Calling love to the center, lifting all is one. I sing a day. I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. Soulful praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song. Calling love to the center, lifting all is one. I'm singing now, so it is anything I dream. It is singing now, so it is. Think bigger now, so it is. I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony. Calling love to the center, lifting all, we are free.
This is your time to dance. Share dancing is absolutely
Today I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. Soulful praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song. Calling love to the center, lifting all is one. I'm singing now, so it is anything I dream. It is singing now, so
you down there.
Hi, Kat, welcome.
I like that. My sister's name is Catherine. Catherine. I used, yeah, Catherine. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been.
Yes.
I was here when you guys were. That's something
Required to come every week. I'm gonna be watching.
Yes. We'll just enjoy it whenever you see it.
I'm kidding.
Don't wanna move here. Don't wanna move here.
I'm here every week.
So here we are, coming back in. Yes. So today we have two wonderful ministers here to speak to us, Reverend Debbie and Reverend Patricia. It's very wonderful and precious because we are aware that this is not going to be the case for very much longer. After August, Reverend Patricia's going to be moving down south. And we'll have Reverend North. Up north. We'll have Reverend Debbie and we'll have me and we'll have somebody. So we'll see what happens as that unfolds. So it is my distinct pleasure right now to welcome and introduce Reverend Debbie Putnam.
Thank you so much, Peter. Peter's so marvelous, and he makes me feel so good. He makes us all feel so good, right? What a gift. So thank you, Peter. Yes. So glad to have all of you here. Welcome, welcome on this beautiful 5th of July. Today we will talk about things like freedom and independence. And the title is No Bad Parts. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about what we teach. We teach that there is a power for good in the universe. This is all that is, and we can use it through our thinking. And so this is what we work on, is we work on our thinking, we work on our self-awareness, we work on our inner understanding in order to bring forth this power for good and manifest and create lives that work for us and ultimately a world that works for everyone. All thought is creative and influential, and as we train our thought, it becomes more focused, more creative, more influential, and it works. There is only God. All evil starts and stops in the mind of people. There's only God, and yet we have free choice. We have freedom of will. We are able to make choices to see things through our lenses, and often through the lenses that have been created by others for us, often through this sort of mass of what we call race consciousness, or the cultural and the teachings of childhood, but also of all over the world. So we work on that too. There is only God, and all evil starts and stops with the mind of people. And everything in our experience, everything, is either a call for love or an expression of love, with no exceptions. We have noticed that sometimes things are both. That sometimes when I think I'm expressing love, when I'm trying to be loving, for example, as a parent, or in any other area of life, it doesn't come across exactly the way I intended it. And so my call for love, or my expression of love, becomes a call for love from you. And that grows love between us, right? It grows love in the world. And number 4, the primary focus of today's conversation. You are whole, perfect, and complete, just as you are right now. We're going to spend the morning on that. I will say no more right now. And we're now going into our meditation. It will be about 5 minutes. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, do so. If you'd rather leave them unfocused or whatever feels good. Drop into your seat, into this space, into this safety. Take a deep breath.
So in this wonderful space, let us do our readings. The first reading is actually really long. So it's actually in 2 slides. It's from Ernest Holmes on his Book of Meaning, which I've never heard of. The road to self-discovery often calls for a clearing away of the undergrowth of ignorance, fear, superstition, and a sense of isolation, which have made us feel we are unworthy, unheld, and lost. In the divine providence of good, salvation is unnecessary, but self-discovery is essential. We do not save that which was lost. We merely discover that which needs to be found. A Holmes reader on meaning. I want to whisper in your ear, you have permission. You have permission to fully embody yourself, your heart, your gifts, your pain, your brilliance, your love. From Adrienne Marie Brown and Sonia Renee Taylor, Journal of Radical Permission. That's one of the things we do here is we give you permission. If you need it, because you've always had it. It's like there's no salvation, just recognition of who you are. And then we have some music again.
Carried every word they gave me till I forgot my own name. They drew my face in borrowed lines, wrote my ending in a quiet time. Every word a cage disguised, dressed like truth but built on lies. I bent, I broke, I wore their skin till silence started caving in. You wrote me down in lines I don't live in, called me a name that I won't give in. I shed every word that I've been living, now I breathe where I begin. You held the pen but never knew me, turned my truth into what they need to see. I'm not the story you claim, I'm unwritten in your name. I traced the cracks you couldn't see. There was a voice inside of me. Every label lost its hold when I chose the unknown road. I shook the weight of who I'd been, felt something stronger rise within. You wrote me down in lines I don't live in, called me a name that I won't give in. I shed every word that I've been living, now I breathe where I begin. You held the pen but never knew me, turned my truth into what they need to see. I'm not the story you claim, I'm unwritten in your name. No more quiet just to fit, no more drowning bit by bit. Every shadow starts to slip when I finally loosen it. If I'm a story you can read, if I'm everything you don't believe,
That is a beautiful song.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Reverend Patricia, would you like to join me for a little chat in our living room?
I would. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit in front of that face because I will just get lost. If I was sitting out here, I would get lost in that face.
Not in her face?
Those words.
Yes.
So
I am unwritten in your name.
we're gonna go back to that one stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Good morning. So today, we're going to talk about, and we are welcoming you into our minister's living room, as we do about once a month, or we have been, to invite you into the chat that we have together, and then to bring you in. Some of you might feel roped in, but bring you in as part of this conversation, because wisdom lives in all of us. It lives in us as ministers, it lives in us as humans, it lives in each and every one of you, and we love what you share.
One of my favorite ministers says, if truth is everywhere, why am I the only one talking?
Oh, I love that.
So we
So
put
from-
that into effect.
So from now on, you're doing all the talking?
Well, no.
No, but that's a lovely quote,
Is it?
or a lovely, yeah, it really is. And today's talk title is No Bad Parts, and it really looks deeply into the question of if we are whole, perfect, and complete just as we are, as we said on number 4 of what we teach and believe here, then why do we even need to change? Why do we work on that? What is that about? Can I tell you a story?
But first off, the theme for the whole month is wholeness. So you can hear that underlying all the talks this month. So it's no bad parts, because we're whole.
Love that, thank you. There's a story of a water carrier in a small village who carried 2 buckets of water across his shoulders on the wooden pole, right, with the yoke, yeah. It just makes me think of oxen, but you're right. It is, yes. And for 2 years, this water bearer carried these pots, these pails, buckets, to the well and filled them up. And on the way back, one of them was physically whole, perfect, and complete and never leaked, and the other one always had a big crack. And half of the water would be gone by the time they got back to the village with this water. And after 2 years, with the one bucket feeling plenty of pride in what a good job it was doing, and the other one feeling increasing shame of how it was letting the first one down, letting the village down, the one feeling shame finally fessed up and said to the other bucket, I have been letting you down all of this time. By the time we get back to the village, half of the water from my bucket is gone. And I am so sorry, and I feel so deeply ashamed. And the physically whole bucket said, I have always known about this crack. As we're going back from the well today, I want you to look by the side of the road where we are walking. I see some of you know this story, some of you remember this story. And so as they were going back to the village, the bucket with the crack in it looked carefully along the side of the road, and there were red flowers and yellow flowers and white flowers and purple flowers, of course, and this beautiful garden of what had been created. And when they got back to the village, the bucket with the crack said, I saw flowers all along the way. And the first bucket said, yes, because I knew about the crack, I have been dropping seeds by the side of the road, and you have planted these. You have grown these with the water that has dripped from your bucket. We are whole, perfect, and complete just as we are. And those things that seem like cracks, maybe letting in the light both for ourselves and for someone else, maybe creating a wholeness that is beyond what we know. If we show up as too perfect, sometimes other people can't even access who and what we are. We all have these mistakes, and they are part of who and what we are. There are no bad parts.
No bad parts. And because God is everything, because we were born perfect, whole, and complete, then all the parts of us are sacred. And we all have many parts. And that's not being ill. We all have many parts. I mean, you know it. When you're making a decision, it's like, well, part of me says I should be doing this. Well, the other part says, maybe you should think about this aspect. Okay? We're getting ready to buy a house. So let me tell you, we spent half of Friday going, well, this house, we can do this here, it's at a great place for the dogs, but oh my, it's mostly gravel, so what are we gonna do about that? And the room's too small, and that one's an odd place. All these parts of me going, I love this, but I'm not so sure about that. Oh, but this is so cool. Okay? These are all different parts of me speaking. The same thing happens with my behaviors. There's a part of me that goes, oh, that's a strength. That's a good part. And a part of me goes, oh, that was a mistake. You shouldn't let that part out. You were too quick to come to a judgment. You were not careful enough with the words that you used. Bad, 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 bad. Multiple parts. All sacred, all good. But some of those parts are not really mine. They're things I learned in my original family. I learned how to be safe, how to be seen. If anybody's been around me enough times, you'll know that in a group I will repeat myself. I'll say the same thing 4 different ways, but it's the same blooming thing. It's because when I grew up, nobody heard me. So I'm going to keep saying it until I get an indication that not only do you listen to my words, but you hear what I'm trying to say. Okay? It drives people nuts. Okay? So I've learned to only say it 4 times, not 8. Okay? And I say it more gently now, and I wait till there's actually the right moment to say something. Okay? Those are the kinds of changes that we have permission to do, to change that about us that wasn't ours to begin with. Okay? Wholeness is not created, or at least we don't create the wholeness, right? We only discover it. Yes.
So one thing you said to me as we were talking about these ideas, and I loved this, I wrote it down, was build a bigger truth. You said it starts with not labeling things, not labeling parts of ourselves as bad or wrong, that labeling is the slippery slope.
Yes.
And then you talked about building a bigger truth. Can you talk to us about what you mean by that?
There's a famous poem, Vanwoerkom, I think, that says, they drew a circle to keep me out, but I drew a larger circle to draw them in. Often I find that when I've been growing in consciousness, that I create this internal fight between, I totally believe this, and I totally believe this. And I can't believe both of them because they're in opposition to each other. So to build a bigger circle, to build a bigger truth, is what is the truth that combines both of those polarities into one? Okay?
Sometimes I think of the balcony, going onto a balcony and being able to see both of these things that appear to be conflicting from a higher place, metaphorically, to being able to bring them together. And it can still be an uneasy partnership as I start integrating them, and yet building that bigger circle. I love that idea.
It's probably the best and most cogent example for right now is when I believe there's a certain path to get to the world that works for everyone. People should behave this way, and this way, okay? And we all have our lists of how people should behave, okay? They should always be kind, they should always understand me, they should take responsibility for whatever they do, okay? And then there's this other part of me that says, but I can't really trust everybody to do the right thing all the time. So I have to be prepared to be disappointed. I have to be prepared to deal with conflict, with your wrong-headedness, okay? Putting it politely. And the bigger truth is we're all trying to see the good in the world. We're all trying to make it a safe place for ourselves and the other. How we do that can differ. But the bigger truth is we all want to live in a world that works for everyone. And that gets really interesting when everyone is a snowflake. We're all different. How does one thing work for all its difference? Okay? And again, that bigger truth is wholeness. Within all the differences, there is wholeness. And we're all looking for the same thing. Okay? Does that make sense? About making the bigger truth and not getting stuck in the details.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I would say, would you all say it starts within? Part of the work is out there, in what I see out there. A lot of the work is in what I see within myself. And some of what you talked about earlier in terms of what we've picked up, maybe from our families, or maybe our families were amazing, and maybe we picked it up from the general culture, from our churches, from the politics, the school, the this, the that, the expectations, all the expectations. Ernest Holmes says, the individual subconsciously knows or believes much about themselves that contradicts their true spiritual nature. The accumulated experience of the whole human race is lodged in the subconscious of everyone and operates through everyone until a passageway is cleared back through the mind to the spiritual presence.
You went there, huh?
I went there. Was I?
That is a quote that has to be unpacked, seriously. But remember the opening about there are times we have to clear away the underbrush? Some of that underbrush is that historical context, the historical happenings that we know at an unconscious level. And since it's back through time, I think that's where the overwhelm comes from, in terms of how can things be different? Because it's always been, war, conflict, people against each other, power first. It's not so much might makes right now as money makes right. There's always something, and it's that accumulation of the ages is in us. We're aware of it. We have some new words for it. Intergenerational trauma. Okay. Stuff that's happened in your family, your culture, or your country that comes down, and you've got this vague awareness of it. Okay. How do you see the truth through all that underbrush? How do you clear it away?
And so traditionally in science of mind teaching, we have called this race consciousness. And many of you have probably heard this term and may or may not have understood it, because sometimes things are a bit of a buzzword, a buzz term, right? But that's what it is this accumulated belief of the millennia, if you like. Women are this way, black people are this way, the world is this way, gay people are that way, white men are this way, these people are that way. Whatever, everybody's got a list, right? And those beliefs may be floating in our kind of the thought patterns that influence us, even if we don't realize it. They are in our subconscious. And race consciousness, I think, is typically taught as something that as we become more conscious personally, we can move beyond, we can not have it influence us so much, and we can be more clear about who and what we are and bring our integrity and our wholeness to the world, which is what the world needs and wants from us. Our uniqueness, this snowflake stuff, as we uncover the truth of who we are, that is a gift to the world. I believe that as we heal ourselves, and we say healing is revealing, so as we come back to this authenticity, as we come back to the true place of who and what we are also healing this subconscious that is shared by all, this race consciousness, this intergenerational trauma. And there are many teachings out there that are even about generational healing, where you can go into, oh, I'm healing back to the 7th generation past or whatever, or as I heal now, it heals forward. And so those are not specific things we teach here. And yet those teachings are stronger and stronger, I think, out there in the world.
And it's also a real change in how we look at the parts. Back to there's no bad parts. All of that helped us survive. And by learning to honor and listen to our own parts, we can develop compassion and maybe even we start with tolerance, but we cultivate a relationship with our parts, enables us to cultivate a conscious, loving relationship with what's going on outside of us, with other people. I've just been given notice that we've actually hit the end of our talk time, and we're only halfway through. Okay, so take a deep breath. We're going to quick segue to the second part of this.
I was going to say, and how do we bring this to where the world is right now? Where our country is?
There is a wonderful prayer that was written by Ernest Holmes, and Teresa is going to be passing it around. It's called The Prayer for My Country. And what we're going to do is take turns reading it. We will volunteer you if we need to, if you don't volunteer yourselves to read a section. Okay. And Doug has a microphone he's going to run around with, and so we can all hear. But it's all those parts in us are the exact same parts that are in the world. So we're going to read a section and go from there. So I will read the first one.
And there's 3. As she's handing it out, give her a second. We thought that it would be really, even though the talk doesn't really reference the 4th of July in any way, to simply blow past this Independence Day, which may be wonderful for some and difficult for others, for our country, but this celebration of the principles that this nation was founded on.
And does not live up to fully.
Is something that we,
It's always moving.
Yes,
For that more.
the more and more perfect nation.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
And so that is why we're bringing this to you today, in honor of no bad parts.
And the 250th anniversary of our country. Believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression for all, I offer this, my prayer for my country. I have 2 comments. One is, I listened to a wonderful woman who's doing a vision about America, and she says that the Declaration of Independence, I think it's the document, we hold these truths. Yeah, that is a treatment for freedom. Translated.
A spiritual mind
It's
treatment.
a spiritual mind treatment about freedom. So that's where that believing in the divine destiny, because we started in, it may not have rewritten as a prayer, but in a prayerful way about freedom. And secondly, this is Ernest Holmes' prayer for his country. This is not CSL dogma. This is not anything that you have to believe. This is simply his opinion. And it's no more valid and no less valid than your own. That's the joy of religious science. So, who wants to read the second?
So it's one sentence at a time, right?
Well, it's in paragraphs.
One paragraph.
I know that the divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs.
Not alert. Comments?
Without getting into too much political hoopla, I had a hard time figuring out why divine intelligence wanted the current administration.
Yes.
And I think that it is divinely guided. I think that it is. It's showing us our fear right in our face. That's what my feeling is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is us waking up to our own fears.
And it's drawing that bigger circle when you held that thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's how do we hold spiritual truth when the appearance doesn't match the way we think that truth should show up? Okay?
Right.
All there is God.
Yes.
We all might come.
Tony, are you
Well,
waiting for the next one?
well, I just have a comment that the divine intelligence,
Microphone.
how it doesn't govern, it doesn't know the United States. It doesn't know separation. That's a separation of spirit and of God. So that would be separating. I don't see the divine intelligence. I think if you could say the destination of everything.
Right.
But also I think this is written as a treatment, so it's more of a wish. You know, it's more of him saying this is what we want it to be, but it's not necessarily what it is.
Okay. Treatment is never a wish. It is a declarative
Yeah.
statement of how things truly are
Okay.
beyond the appearance.
Okay, I just feel like he's writing this in, it's not the truth, it's more what he,
It
He's trying to
is the
manifest
truth,
this.
it's just not the appearance.
he's trying to manifest divine intelligence to govern the United States. But it
We're
isn't
gonna
actually-
get into an argument here, because divine intelligence is always operating.
And so this is why we take classes and delve really deep, which I know you have, and
In
many
my
people
mind,
have.
this is a completely false statement.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
And you know,
Okay.
every opinion is welcome.
In my mind,
Mhm.
that divine intelligence doesn't know who the United States of America
And
is.
divine
so-
intelligence
That's a
serves itself.
separation.
Agreed.
Could I say, kind of what Teresa was saying, that this, you could call this Holmes drawing the bigger circle.
Yeah,
Holmes seeing the perfect whole and completeness, and as the absolute core, and this was, he wrote this in 1953.
Yeah.
So this would have been,
Cold War.
I guess so,
Mhm.
yeah. And apparently he wrote a lot about our country in the 30s through the 50s.
McCarthy era.
McCarthy.
McCarthy era,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Since you've got the microphone, you want to
Okay.
continue?
I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and the divine heritage of everyone in this country, in this world. Sorry, that they are now operating in affairs of every individual in this.
Country, this is the prayer for the country.
Okay.
It's focus it in. Okay, who would like to do, any comments on that one?
I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression.
Here, here. Keep going, keep going.
I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that personal freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. Want me to continue?
No. Unless the paragraph should be, that's fine. How do you like that as a belief? Can you support that statement?
Well, it goes back to the pie theory.
Would you mind? Microphone.
It relates to the pie theory, that there's enough pie for everybody. It's not like, it's an endless pie. We're all gonna get pie. And if I get pie, it doesn't mean there's more pie for me and less pie for you. There's enough pie for everybody. Because the universe is abundant.
Absolutely.
But there isn't, not everyone has pie. A lot of people are not eating pie.
Totally. There's a difference
But there's
between,
enough pie for everybody.
there's a difference between relative truth and absolute truth.
Right.
The divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of people, causing it to know that economic security may come to all. Okay? That says this is possible. Next. Yeah, get your class.
The all-knowing mind contains the answers to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed by this all-knowing mind and has a knowledge of a complete solution for every problem. Each is impelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all.
Now, this is the place I would say that behaviors need to change, that the wholeness is present and those whose behavior may need to change. So this is seeing the spiritual truth that underlies the appearance. Does that make sense? Yes. Does it feel better to focus on that truth than it does to focus on the appearances? Does that make sense? Yes. No, okay.
So you say, does it feel better?
Yeah, does it feel better in you to know that the all-knowing mind contains the answers and it can work through every single individual? Okay? Whether or not it is working to where we can see it is a whole separate discussion. Okay, but we're back to spiritual truth. Okay, this is a treatment, a statement of truth for our country.
I just go back to the same thing. It can only work if it's all, it doesn't work if there's separation.
I agree, but right now we're just focused on our country.
Yeah.
It's like you can work on everyone's marriage or you can work on your own.
So I saw Doug and Corey look like they wanted the mic.
I've in listening to this and the audience, it reminds me of when I first started in Science of Mind, and I would hear these affirmations, and inside my head I started screaming. No, that's absolute.
F no.
Yeah, I'm being polite. Literally to sit in my chair and squirm. Took me a long time to let go of the belief that this couldn't possibly be true. Now, I fall. When I fall back into that old voice that says, no. When I'm rising or lifting myself up, I am remembering that these are my underlying truths and foundations that are working their way through my experience.
I have to wonder, part of that is that it's so easy for us to fall back into the illusion of separation. And we forget that we're all connected. We forget that we're all part of the same organism. Because we're programmed from the time we come out of our mothers, we cut the cord, we're separated, we are now separate and we have our own destiny. And we're programmed to believe that it's hard to break that programming to get back to outside that illusion of separation.
Yes.
So just a couple more and then we are going to need to.
Here's one more.
wrap it up. It looks like we need like an entire 2-hour conversation and workshop on this. This is deep.
There's one more paragraph, but that's not why I took the mic. I think that's where the no bad parts comes in, because on this planet we do have parts that we want to shun because they don't seem to be behaving the way another part of us would like. But that's where we bring love, compassion, and embracing that and understanding that part was only trying to help us. It didn't know how to do it the way our adult self thinks it needs to, but it really is there trying to protect and serve the organism. But it's an ego state, and it's an ego structure, and the truth is bigger than all of it.
And waving the wand is not going to make that magically change.
Exactly, and that's the work that I do.
That's the work we do, and we do it internally, and then it shows up externally.
Can we go to briefly to Corey, Deborah, and then Jim? Did you have everything? Deborah, did you have something?
Microphone.
My comment is, I see what's happening now, is what I see happening in all of nature. Nature sometimes sends us tornadoes and hurricanes and floods to just shake stuff up. Things come. And if you look back, and it might be 100 years or 50 years, but nature grows back and is healthy. So I'm looking at this as a stirring up of nature, and we will survive and be stronger. This is the way the universe works.
It's the wholeness that underlies.
There was a stirring in nature also.
You know what? You are not wrong.
No.
And I appreciate that you are having the courage to speak these difficult things, because I think a lot of us think then it's really nice to Pollyanna. I'm really good at that, and say, it's perfect, whole, and complete, and I can really see that. And it is a difficult truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a difficult truth. Jim.
I'm going to, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to put my twist.
Ice cream cones.
How's this?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. So, what's going on this weekend? This weekend is the birthday, the anniversary of the birth of this country. Well, I've been to a lot of birthday parties in my time. And I've been to a lot of family, what should I say? Family events.
Celebrations.
Family celebrations. Now, what do we talk about in those celebrations? We talk about the greatness of that person, the successes that that person has had. Oh, in spite of all that, they made some mistakes and they were a crook and they did this wrong and that wrong. No, we don't do that. We talk about the successes of that person. Now, I had an interesting class I took, American history. My teacher had us, each student, take one president and use that as the basis for going through chronologically the history of the United States. And you know, I sure didn't agree with everything, but I saw it, how each one built on the successes of our country. And to me, I can simply say, God bless America. We're here, we're a success, we're moving forward.
I think it's time to read the last phrase.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression.
There are no bad parts. We're the longest living actual democracy this world has ever known. We can be completely proud of all that we have done and how all the changes have built on our successes. And I would like to think that's how my life has gone. That there's been no bad parts in me, and that my life has continued to build on my awareness of the wholeness that underlies. And I could let go of the judgment of the bad parts and the behavior that was so self-projected. Because all of us have that tender spot in us that needs to be protected.
And so it is.
So it is.
And we love you through the difficult parts, through the wonderful parts. Your authenticity and you bringing who you are changes our lives. Thank you.
Okay, it's 11:30.
There's no bad parts.
There's no bad parts. You get to vote. What should come next is music, and it's Jesse Power singing Joy. Do you want to see that or skip that so we can get out of here somewhere close to our regular time? Skip. Skip. Skip, skip. Skip. Not a problem. Debbie, demonstrations in you.
Because we have so much extra time, I'm actually going to ask you to close your eyes for 1 minute. 1 minute, I'm taking 1 extra minute. And imagine the wholeness of this center, the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. The thriving, loving, belonging, nurturing community that welcomes people as they come, that grows and thrives and prospers in every way. Whatever that looks like to you, see that now, please. I accept this gift on behalf of all of us. Thank you. Demonstrations. Keep them a little bit laser focused, please.
We found a house in Windsor.
That was laser focused. Excellent. Anyone else?
I want to say that this is my sister Diana, and she's been out here for about 4 months taking care of me. And we've always had the push-pull relationship in my life. She never accepted that I was right. But the interesting thing is that she's been here all this time, and we've really had some challenges. We had a lot of great times, and the other night, when it was an emergency, it ended up, it probably was vertigo. But we were kind of at it. But we kept talking through it, and we kept talking through it. And we had more clarity that night, I think, than I can say we ever have, and more hope. And we
Just really quickly, the book, No Bad Parts, changed my life.
Wow.
Huge, amazing love that is in that book. So I highly encourage and
Who's the author?
Dr. Richard Schwartz. He is a psychologist and he wrote about internal family systems and loving all our parts.
I'll do one. Ethan, a 24-year-old young man in the Naval Academy. You're on, Tom. You're okay. Had an accidental amputation of his leg and is now walking with his new prosthetics. Doing very well. So regardless of what's going on here, peace in here, you have complete control of.
And now we'll have our spiritual mind treatment, our affirmative prayer. If you would drop a name or a situation, again, very briefly, just a first name is fine, into the chalice of this room, and that will be in the chalice of this prayer.
Sale of College Oak House.
Sale of College Oak House.
Susan.
Susan.
Deanna.
Marie.
Derek and Polly. Healing and support for dementia patients and their caregivers.
So for all this that has been spoken and more, and for each and every person in this room or online, there is a power for good in the universe, and it is all that is. It is the pure presence of being. There is only one infinite power, one infinite grace, one infinite divine intelligence, one infinite oneness, one wholeness, one life, one energy, one prosperity, one truth, one beauty, one grace. And this grace is my grace. And this grace is the grace of each and every person in this room, the grace of divine presence that fills each and every heart, each and every mind, and each and every body. The grace that fills all those who have been spoken of, divine life moving as health and wholeness, strength and intelligence for caregivers, love and presence and prosperity for each and every one. As we claim this, our birthright, the goodness of being, that the divine intelligence delivers to us in every moment as we open our hearts, our minds, and our spirits wider and wider to accept and say, yes, this is the truth of my being. This is the truth of my family. This is the truth of my loved ones. This is the truth of our country. This is the truth of our world. We go forth and create prosperity and happiness and love and caring and beauty in our lives, in the world surrounding us. And this goes forth and spreads into the world like the most beautiful positive infection, creating glory and joy in the hearts of others, creating this world that works for everyone. It is done now. The universe says yes to this good. I give thanks for answered prayer, for this prayer is answered. All prayer is always answered. And I release this completely into the powerful law that pours itself into the mold of this word and says, yes, it is done. Join with me. Anchor this in saying, and so it is.
So it is. Yay.
Do we have a song? Oh, that's right, we don't have a song.
Offertory.
Give money. Oh, wait, that's not the right way to say it. They treat me differently. We are grateful for, we are of course grateful for all gifts that are given here at the center or online. If you're on YouTube, please hit the donate button on our website, sacsysl.org. Yeah. And join me in our abundance affirmation. I will call and response it, so I'll say it. You can repeat after me. In a consciousness of abundance.
In a consciousness of abundance.
Okay, all together. I give freely, knowing that I am freely given to, and so it is.
And as you said, this is our opportunity to invest in the kind of community that you want to be part of. So give with joy, give with gratitude, support your flow of good as well as ours. Now moving into the announcements, Spiritual Living Circle, it's a monthly small discussion group based on the Science of Mind magazine. It meets Thursday, July 23rd at 3 p.m. at Susan's Nye's home. If you haven't registered, let me know so I can get you registered for the free magazine. If you don't know where Susan lives, come talk to me. I have her address cards. Okay.
What time?
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Okay. I want to do some thank yous. The music that you heard most of today was from Mary Franklin, who is volunteered to take over scheduling the music and live and recording. I think she did an outstanding job, and I want to thank her. The newsletter that you received has, I've dropped out completely, and Teresa and Corey has stayed in, but Teresa has picked up the beginning of it, and and with the website, and I want to thank her. This is how our community is coming together to support, okay? We believe in openness, transparency, and the sharing of leadership, okay? In that vein, we have a volunteer position that needs to be shared more broadly than it is currently. You all know that Aspen is she's here almost every week to do our sound, and Doug has been also a mainstay. Doug will be leaving at the end of the month, basically. He may be here a little bit of August. So we need someone who is willing to work with Aspen and work the sound. On that note, you may have noticed that last Sunday, we had no slides, because we were in a place that didn't have them. This Sunday, you may have noticed, we had fewer slides. There was a suggestion that we pretty much drop a lot of the slides because they're distracting. I need to know a vote real quick. Do you want to change from slide heavy to slide light? Opinions?
Slide light.
Slide light?
But
Like,
not
We'd rather
remove
do
slides.
Slide light but not remove slides.
Not
I agree.
remove, not remove them, but slide them. Right?
Okay. Well, there's some things we can do. We're gonna be playing with this for the next couple of weeks, just so we can find our sweet spot, okay? And you need to give us feedback so we know when we've hit the sweet spot. Because my sweet spot may not be yours. Okay, final thing is, we have a, right?
I love it when she says that. Another volunteer opportunity is we do need someone to do, I think, bookkeeping and possibly also treasury. I know they're two different things.
Yeah, we do. If you can do QuickBooks, we definitely have a need for someone to take over the QuickBooks. It also would be wise for our future to have someone who is grounded in finance and financial planning and those kind of bigger things that does with an organization, not just the bookkeeping. Okay, we need both. Right now,
But not necessarily in the same person.
No,
Yeah.
Corey's wearing 2 hats, and we'd like to get 1 hat away from her so she can really focus on being president of the board, because she is so good at that. Okay. We've been working with Barbara Leger. You remember her coming and speaking with us? She's got a strong background in working with boards in transition and centers in transition, which is what we are. She did a survey of the board and is going to be reporting back out to us what that survey said, the analysis. So that's what's going on kind of behind the scenes. She's going to be here not next week, the week after. She's speaking the 3rd Sunday, which is also our board meeting, because she'll be talking to the board. Okay. We're also going to have a visioning with her midweek, and it's pretty much just for the board, because based on the survey results, and we want to really take them in and integrate them and understand them before we talk to the congregation about it. But we're probably going to have what my daddy would call a come to Jesus meeting. Good Catholic, New Englander, but a community meeting about where we are as a community and what our next steps are. Okay, so we will be talking about having a community-wide meeting probably in August. It's not instantaneous, but just kind of keep it in your head that we need to, the family needs to come together and have a family discussion again. And that's just because we're small and we're doing a lot of changing. So we need to keep talking to each other so all the parts stay connected.
I think it's also just part of our general desire to have collaboration and transparency.
Yep.
That is what part of our values as a community.
Shared leadership and all that.
But things are good.
Things are great.
Yes.
If you watch your,
Things are
I mean,
good.
one of the indicators of that is how many people who come, and our attendance is really solid. Okay, remember, we started with 6 people. We're maintaining at a really good level.
Yeah.
We'd like to move to the next level, but we're doing wonderfully. And if you've been looking at the bottom of Corey's section of the newsletter, it talks about the money. And we're doing fine. And those are kind of the 2 really single most touchstones of how viable are we? How are we doing? You know, I'm very direct and vernacular. We got butts in the seat and money in the bank. Okay? Good day. Okay. Closing song.
Oh.
Big deep breath. Stand if you'd like.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.